back for round two, and this is going to be my very festive, horrific December TBR. And I am feeling in a festive mood, I guess. And I decided to check out some Christmas horror for the last month of 2024. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with my possibilities for December. And I read from physical, Audible, and Kindle. I just have a whole list here. So let's go ahead and show it off. Let's start with the physical books. The first book that I'm planning on starting tonight, and I'm planning on starting this tonight because I'm already 3 days behind. But this is going to be part of my holiday horror vlog. I'm going to start with Christmas Eve Carnage by John Lynch. And he actually signed this. And he just wrote, "Are you on the naughty list?" I've been really wanting to start this for the longest time. So I'm going to read the back. Christmas is canceled. Life has been difficult for the Fletcher family since the loss of loving wife and mother Courtney Fletcher. Her husband Jack buries his grief in his job, working long hours and neglecting his children. The children struggle with the loss of their mother and a father who is too busy with work to be present. Chad Reynolds, an ex-con with a bone to pick, plots his revenge, while a malevolent Christmas elf rises. A nor'easter slams the town as Chad and Sprinkles are on the loose. There will be no Silent Night, only Christmas Eve carnage. I am definitely excited to read this. So, I actually pre-ordered the sequel, Christmas Eve Carnage 2, Sprinkles Lives. And that's coming out on the 10th. And I'll have a signed copy of that one as well. So I'll definitely add that one in the TBR as well. So definitely going to read these two. And that next book I'm going to put in this vlog is You Better Watch Out by James S. Murray and Darren Wearmouth. And this is more of like a thriller. So it's still Christmassy, and I really do want to read this. This clocks in at 2:28, so I should be able to knock this out. But I'm going to read the flap as well. 48 hours until Christmas, Jessica Kane wakes up with blurred vision and ringing ears and in excruciating pain. The last thing she remembers is going for a run and something or someone hitting her on the head, leaving a gash and blood running down her face. It doesn't take Jessica long to realize she is trapped in an unknown deserted town with 5 other strangers who share similar stories of being attacked and stranded. Unsure why and how they got there, Jessica knows one thing for certain. She has to find a way out. That becomes nearly impossible when someone begins meticulously orchestrating the captives' deaths one by one. And the only thing Jessica can do is watch the life leave their eyes. The fenced-in town is the killer's very own playground, and there's nowhere left to hide. She better watch out, because she could be next. So, This came out in October, I believe, and this is the perfect month to check this out. So that is You Better Watch Out. And I'm going to take a detour from Christmas horror, and I'm going to read one of these two. So these were leftovers from Novella November. You have a creature feature here and a sci-fi here. So one of these two books will take me to the end of December. So I'll give you an update on which one I picked. But more than likely, since Bad Astronauts has been in my TBR for a while, and I actually put it down at my 24 and 24 challenge, I might actually read this one. But if I do have time, I might squeeze this one in. I'm terrible at planning, so either one or both of these books will be ending December. Never mind that. So those are all the physical books I want to try and get to for this month. Let's talk about Audible. And I'm currently reading one now called Everything is Temporary by John Cone. And I have read from this author this year. I read Slash Tag, which was a reality show taking place at a haunted hotel. That one was pretty solid. This one is very different. This is more of like a family drama with a little bit of Christmas sprinkled in it. But so far, it's about like this family who are very hard to get along with. And the daughter of the family lost her best friend to leukemia. And she's just going through that grief. And everything for this family is just going wrong. The father has been arrested for attempted murder by arson, and they're just trying to get him out on bail. But you also have like an excerpt of this book that is kind of like a Christmas tale. This thing is kind of emotional, but I'm trying to really get into the story to see if it like really makes sense. But as I go along with it, it should start making sense. But so far, I'm enjoying it, but it's not really a Christmas book. So moving on from there, the next one I want to read after that one is I Found Christmas Lights Slithering Up My Street by Ben Farthing. This was in the I Found horror series, and a couple months back I read I Found a Circus Tent in My Backyard or something. That one was pretty solid. This one is Christmas horror, so there's that one. I found a very, very short story collection called Christmas in the Empty Cabin by E. Reyes. And probably very short flash fiction Christmas tales. And I did find a sort of winter / Christmas creature feature. This is Snow Shark by Brian G. Barry. And I've been really wanting to get into this author because he has some gnarly covers. And apparently this dude knows uh, like 80s cheese and makes it extremely gory. So I definitely can't wait for this one. Those are the ones on Audible. I could add another book in here as well, but we'll see. Moving on to my Kindle. And I did pretty good so far. I finished one already. But the first one I did finish was Here Comes Santa Claus by Edward Lee. And this was a very quick 32-page short story. And Santa Claus is trapped in like this storm, and he lands in a very mystical kingdom, but he hallucinated the whole thing, and he ended up in a kingdom of hell. This thing was wild and very weird. So I ultimately gave this one 3 stars. But moving on from there, I started my second Kindle book yesterday. And I have Return of the Living Elves by Brian Asman. And this so far is about a teenager who works on Christmas Eve at like a warehouse. And there's like zombie elves on the streets of this California town. Haven't gotten to like any of the blood and guts, but have a feeling that this is going to be a very fun one. Essentially, Brian Asman said that this was Return of the Living Dead with Christmas. So I'm going to have a blast with this one. And I have 2 more Kindle books that I want to try and get to. The next one is Father Christmas versus the Abominable Snowman by Harrison Phillips. So, Santa versus the Abominable Snowman. How fun can that be? And finally, if I have time, I decided to put Santa Exploitation by Judith Sonnet. And this is just a very quick 40-ish page short story. I put this on my Kindle last year. I just didn't get to it. But what I remember is about like these women who kidnap Santa Claus and do very, very sexual things to him. So this one's going to be wild and pretty fun, I think. So those are all the books that I'm hoping to get to for December. Will I get to all of them? We'll see. But tonight, for sure, I'm definitely going to start Christmas Eve Carnage and start on my holiday horror vlog as well. So look forward to that. And my last video for tonight, hopefully, will be my November wrap-up in movies. So if I'll film that tonight, then I will. But more than likely, I'll film it tomorrow. But I wanted to get these videos filmed today, so you can see them tonight. So that's all I got for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Adios, peace, and ho 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 and stuff.